Right now, they are referring to the young man that passed away untimely, that Sam likes to use for as pets and for sympathy. So this is what this conversation is about.
That is the point that his mother actually met his girlfriend's mother. I mean, they knew each other from being dropped off at, each other's houses and stuff like that. But the friendship,
Right.
there was never
Yeah.
even a 10-minute conversation between Jessica and his girlfriend's mother until after he died. So what I know is that Jessica had a hard time dealing with the death of her child. And yes, she was put on anxiety. Yeah, I mean, she was
like
put on anxiety pills, and
she lost her shit.
So this part of the story, I just want you guys to understand, Arabia cannot or chooses not to speak or call Sam by her name because Sam went out and got an EPO on Arabia and lied to the courts. She told the courts that her and Arabia were lovers, so she should be granted an abuse from a partner or something like that. And she was granted that based on a lie, kind of like how she tried to do the same thing with DC Media Girl with the EPO. But it might get a little bit confusing since Arabia doesn't refer to Sam by her name. I just wanted to let you guys know that. And I will try to break it down as much as I can along the way through this video.
She wasn't herself for a few years.
Well,
and during the time she wasn't herself, she was befriended and taken advantage of. And there's only, her son's only been dead 6 years. That's it. So the 6-year friendship.
Can we say whether or not, Arabia, that due to the car wreck that happened, and there was probably a lawsuit and a big amount of money settlement coming through, don't you think that had something to do with it also?
So this part right here, they are talking about Jalen or Jaden, that Sam likes to refer to as one of her sons. That's what they're talking about, that story, how Sam grifted everybody about this poor kid that suddenly passed away untimely, and how the mom found out what Sam was saying online about the situation. She wasn't happy about it. So if you listen more, they're going to give a lot more details, so we're on the same page.
I think it did in the ongoing of, keeping this woman around as a friend. But initially, in the very beginning, no, because nobody knew that there was going to be any type, nobody knew that. But once that was uncovered and found out, it came with benefit.
Right.
So, but the 6 years that his mother and his ex-girlfriend's mother were friends, that friendship was developed after that child's death. And she didn't even know her prior to her son being killed.
This is
accident.
Wow.
I'm gonna read I'm gonna read Julian.
So the kid that passed away suddenly, his name was Julian. He used to date Sam's daughter. That's how I got to know this kid, because he was 14, around the same age as Sam's daughter, and they were dating as preteens.
His mother's comment that was 6 days ago, which when she saw this video, it's on the video that we just watched where Sam claimed that was her son. And she said, "I'm not sure what this is all about, but let me clear something up that has me sick to my stomach. Julian David Parmalee is my son, born January the 23rd, 2000, and died in a car accident in St. Paul, North Carolina on November the 28th, 2014. He was the boyfriend of Sam's daughter for a year or two. She did not raise my child at any point in his short 14 years of life. Everyone who knew him loved him, and he was a wonderful young man. It sickens me to know that she has collected money from you in his name and that she has been claiming him as her own child. So that was the thing that she left. And then I guess we've been seeing that she popped out of nowhere and started, communicating with this woman that we're talking about, Telfer. And she is hot to trot because she's pissed off. Now, why going through all that? Nobody had talked about that boy until you brought it all up. You are exploiting him. And I do not understand why you went that far as to put all those tweets out tying me to him. It's the same thing that you have done time and time again, trying to use him for attention. You loved the way that the attention that you got when you claimed this. He had a mother. It was not you. He was the boyfriend of Sam's daughter for a year or two. She did not raise my child at any point in his short 14 years of life. Everyone who knew him loved him, and he was a wonderful young man. It sickens me to know that she has collected money from you in his name and that she has been claiming him as her own child.
I put that part in back again because I want you guys to understand the gravity of how sick Sam Tefler truly is. That's why I let that little snippet replay again. So moving on to the different section of the video. Since Sam went and got this emergency EPO by lying to the courts and saying that her and Arabia were lovers and blah, 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 she was granted that, even though it's a lie. During this live stream that I'm rebroadcasting right now, Sam saw all these three ladies on panel together live streaming, called the cops, and Arabia had to step off and deal with the cops, and this is part of the story.
You don't need to po again, damn.
That's what I'm saying. Those were kind of the questions.
He did tell me that if they got another call, yes, they would come back because they have to. There is a restraining order.
Yeah.
But they themselves have to believe that I'm violating that order before they can arrest me for any type of violations.
Right.
They know that themselves, and if they actually witnessed, and I actually went through and showed him what I was doing. I told him what I was saying. I showed him the order, and he said, he said the same thing I said. It's a court case that involved you, and you absolutely do have a right to speak on it. So, why are people following people around the internet on platforms?
So you guys understand this. Sam called the cops on Arabia because she wanted Arabia to shut up. She weaponizes the court to her own benefits to get what she wants. Kind of like what she did with DC Media Girl with her APO. She thought that would shut DC up with the upcoming court case. It didn't work then. I don't understand how she thinks it was going to work for her now.
Platforms that they know that they are not well liked in.
Yeah. Why are you even watching? Don't understand why you watching. You trying to watch and get something.
Exactly. It's so strange.
That's harassment.
I know there's some criminal summons out there that a certain somebody has not been served yet, and I could spend my time sending the police over there to get that accomplished. But it's
to make it perfectly clear, she knows her personal being is not in any danger because you're on the internet and you're home, right? So she's trying to enforce you not talking about her. Sam, that is the that's the weakest
you
thing
guys
you've done
cannot
yet.
address her directly while I'm
don't address her.
Okay, well then answer. Okay, what questions do we have left, sweetie? because the ones that we have,
some crimes don't have a statute of limitations, this, that, and the other. And it is a very general consensus that after a certain amount of time passes, that you are completely home safe with no possible prosecutions ever, because what you think the statute of limitations means is not exactly what the statute of limitations means. Okay. So let me explain that first and foremost, and then it'll be easier to understand all of the other
Yes,
things.
Philly girl, lock and load, Philly girl.
Okay.
So guns up.
put your
Let me
guns up, put them up.
Let me explain what the statute of limitations, why it's even a thing. A statute of limitations, now I know if you Google it, it'll say it's all about a defendant's right. You know,
What that last part that she was talking about, we'll circle back to that that boy's mother. What she was talking about is the fact that Sam stole $37,000 or thereabouts from Aspen Dental where she worked. What she would routinely do is tell people that if they would pay cash on whatever it is that they needed to have done, she could apply this discount and this discount and this discount. And so she says, and I can get it down to where you pay me $300 today and $300 next time or something like that. And that's what she did for people that were paying cash. The reason that she didn't get caught was because of just a fluke. It was just a fluke that they didn't have enough to get her. But what Arabia just explained to you, connect those two things together and you'll kind of understand why she was explaining that.
Right. Exactly.
Yes. So that was everybody lock and load, put your guns up.
Yeah, because they're coming for us.
But
They're
circling it back, like I said, I don't know why she brought it up.
All right, so this part they're referring to Sam taking over 43 or 30 some, whatever the amount, $1,000 from Aspen Dental. Technically it's a federal crime, so technically there's no statute of limitation. Right now, Sam might think she's sitting pretty, but really she is not. This is what they're referring to. This part of the live stream is about how Sam, to further her crypt, actually went and got Jaden's name tattooed on her wrist. And the child's father and the child's mother were baffled by why Sam would even do that, because the son only dated their daughter. That was it. It wasn't deeper than that. They broke up. Sam is psycho. I'm sorry to tell you.
They said that when she got that tattoo on her arm of his name, her daddy was like so upset and befuddled at why she did that.
Because she's crazy.
Yeah. She liked the attention that she was getting and she went ahead and mirrored it. You know what I mean?
She did. And then she found out that girl was going to get a settlement.
Yep.
From the loss of that child, circumstances, and she sailed on that girl, manipulated her, struck when her the most weakest part of her fucking life, probably.
Well, she was sedated so heavily.
Yeah.
She was so heavily sedated after that.
Shit, dude.
She is. There's nothing about her that's not that. You are a piece of shit all the way 360 degrees around. You're a piece of shit. Now,
hey. So on this part here, I did cut out a lot of stuff because there's too many asides in the midst of the conversation. It just drove me nuts, so I just cut it out. But Arabia is going to go into details in the next clip on how and what Sam filed against her.
I don't.
You don't. What do you have?
I'm going to show you guys, and I'm going to explain this to you.
Okay.
And what I'm going to explain to you is how this order was obtained, what the appeal is actually appealing, and why.
Arian. I got one.
What I have is an order of protection that was granted to another party against me on the grounds that I committed dating violence.
Oh dear.
Okay.
I'll be back on in a second. I'm here though.
Can you guys see? Is it clear? Can you see what's marked?
Let me see what they're saying.
It says that it says dating violence and abuse. Can you guys see where it's marked?
But y'all want a couple.
No, we weren't. And that's why this is being appealed.
Have you ever in 30 years been romantically involved with her? Ever?
Not even once.
Not on a drunken night, not on a
Never.
nothing. Never. Okay. So that's a lie. That's a complete lie she put down.
What she got was a domestic violence order of protection. What I am appealing is the error in that record, because whether you are in civil court, family court, criminal court, there's a preponderance of evidence requirement and a burden of proof requirement. Burden of proof more so applies to like criminal shit. Ponder.
See?
So what I did was, because we all know there was never any domestic abuse in this situation, because there was never a relationship of any type of intimacy whatsoever. So what I did is I made an appeal to a higher court on the errors of the record. And what that will do, now I'm not asking for them to take the no contact order away. What that will do is it will get another hearing so that the record and the ruling of the no contact that applies to me will basically, the errors can be corrected. It'll be a whole new hearing where the same thing happens, but the evidence will determine whether this was domestic abuse or whether this was just a situation where she needed an interpersonal restraining order. And that is what the appeal is. And I'm appealing that for two reasons. I'm appealing that for two reasons. One, because the truth of the matter is there was never a relationship.